listening to The Summit FM, and I'm Brad Savage. We have a Summit-focused community interview happening. Something really cool is coming together about music history in our area. And joining me in studio today from the Vindys, Jackie Popovic is here. Welcome back, Jackie. Good
Hello.
to see you. We've also got Eric Vaughn and Bill Reichstein joining me in studio. And,
hey, everybody.
Yeah, well, welcome. I'm an Akron music and Northeast Ohio music historian, right? I love the history. There's so much music out of this area. So, Bill, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the heart of rock and roll.
Well, the heart of rock and roll, I actually grew up in Akron at King's School, Firestone, Litchfield. Left for 20 years, came back. And when I got back here, we started talking with Eric and some others, and we realized that there's such a rich history here of Akron, Cleveland, Youngstown, Ohio. There's so much music, and it's so important to really rock and roll history. We decided to make a movie about it.
That's great.
That's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's a great story, and it goes deeper and deeper with the amazing things that happened here. Of course, Jackie is really the future of rock and roll in Akron, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Well, yeah, so where does this kind of start, and what kind of, is it a documentary film or even a series you're working on?
It's actually a 4-part documentary, and we're going to take each episode, and it's going to be a different part of the story. Mm-hmm. So we'll tell you a little bit about the different parts of the story now. So the beginning of it is when you think about Ohio and rock and roll. Believe it or not, it starts at the Akron Zoo.
Okay, yeah.
That actually is the beginning of rock and roll for the whole world. Now, that's probably a strange comment, right?
The Akron Zoo?
The Akron Zoo.
How do you mean?
Well, many years ago, there was a station there. You know WAKR.
Right.
Well, back then, it was where it's on the land where the Akron Zoo is now.
I did not know that.
And there's a DJ there named Alan Freed.
Right.
You've heard of Alan Freed?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Alan, go ahead.
He basically coined the term rock and roll.
He did.
I mean, he's in the history books.
He did. And really what that was all about was back then, there was rhythm and blues and there was pop. And they were separate. And the people who listened to each form of music were also separate. It was black and white. So he's really given credit for helping to close the racial divide. From that point, it just grew from there. But Akron was really the start. He moved to Cleveland. They went to New York. And that Akron and rock and roll was born.
I mean, his radio career, I don't know if everyone realizes this. It started here in Akron at the legendary WAKR radio.
WAKR. Then we got straight to 1964. The other big thing that happened here was the first #1 hit to come out of Ohio, which was Ruby and the Romantics from Akron, Ohio.
Our day will come.
Our day will come, and her day came at that point. She was on the Mike Douglas show. And that's really what really started the whole world rolling from that standpoint. So I'm going to turn it over to Eric to kind of give you part 2 of the story.
Yeah, so then what happens next?
All right, so let me go back just a tiny bit. When Bill brought this idea to me, I'm a storyteller at heart. That's what I do as a profession. And it became so clear and so evident that the story of rock and roll in Ohio is such a rich and powerful story, and one that the whole world really needs to hear. I mean, we're all about planting the flag of Ohio being a capital of rock and roll. And everything that Bill was just talking about was sort of like the preamble, up to the areas that we're really going to be focusing on in this documentary. So we're going to be talking about how this scene erupted in Cleveland, primarily at the beginning, with WMMS and some of the other radio stations.
Yep.
And when they were so innovative about how they were programming music, and rock music especially, they were really excellent at having the right ear to find what is going to be the next band, what's going to be the next big thing. And they gave, breaks to, I guess the ultimate big one is David Bowie, right?
Right. Well, yeah, David Bowie, Springsteen, Rush very much broke out of
Man.
this. Yeah.
Can't get more Ohio of a song than that.
Well, and dare I say, we feel and try to live that heritage of radio and the MMS era here on the Summit FM every day. We try to be like kind of a modern version of that if we can,
totally are.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
The
the other part of that was the Agora.
Right, the Agora.
The Agora coffee break concerts. And one of the executive producers is Henry LeConte. His dad is the famous Hank LeConte.
Yes.
And so basically he's part of it, as long as with some other Akron people, Peter LaRose, a lot of people know in Akron. And so that's going to be part of the story, the Agora, WMMS, and all that happened from that point on.
Because those are sort of the launching pads.
Right.
There's so many of these bands that came from outside of Ohio. They came here, and then that's how they became big nationwide.
Right. Just breaking out of Northeast Ohio. Plus, don't forget, like Joe Walsh and the Pretenders and Devo and Michael Stanley Band. I mean,
and that's where we'll eventually get to. I mean, because what was really interesting is that you had like this WMMS Agora sort of thing, and there were other clubs as well. But then also, once they made it big at the Agora, they kind of handed off to the Belkins.
Yep.
So they do like the great, small show at the Agora, and then like a few months later, when they're huge, they're playing giant arena shows, right? So there's this great sort of ad hoc system that was put in place that made Ohio, Northeast Ohio especially, really powerful musically. And because of all this, so much of the talent that was from here, was able to get inspiration, was able to like really find their voice, and a lot of them were starting to do some really impressive things. But then May 4th.
Right.
May 4th happens, and then all of a sudden that creates a spotlight that's shining directly on this area. And if a lot of the bands that we talked to, like when we spoke with Devo especially, and with Chris Butler, with the Waitresses, and Tin Huey, everybody seems to say that moment sort of like said, "Oh, this is serious now."
Mm-hmm.
We're not
was there that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Walsh was there that day.
And then all this talent that was here, was able to be projected out into the world because of that spotlight.
Right.
And so then we get, bands like, of course, the Pretenders, we have like the Cramps, Joe Walsh was already doing something big, but then he even bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many.
Right. Well, and so you're kind of right on the crux of the music, but also the political feeling of the early 70s and mid 70s era.
Well, the theme line for our documentary is when the world punches us in the face, rock and roll punches back.
Right.
Love it.
Many voiceless things that happened to all of us. Suddenly we had a voice, and the voice didn't just talk back, it screamed back.
Right. It was rock and roll has always been the voice of the people.
Yep.
Right. It has always been able to express things that the regular people wouldn't be able to express to the larger world otherwise. And that's one of the things that we're really focusing on, is how rock and roll was always that voice, and how that voice has found itself in other genres.
Mm-hmm.
That rock and roll spirit isn't just like for rock and roll. I mean, we saw the same thing with funk, with hip hop.
Yep.
Sure. So many different genres
Machine
now
Gun Kelly,
are like
Yeah.
bringing that rock and roll spirit. And one of the things that we felt very, very clearly of is that we wanted to find a more current vessel of that spirit, because this isn't just about the past. This is about the now and the future. And that is one of the main reasons why we were so happy to be able to get the Vindys involved with our project.
So tell us about this big event. That's why you're coming in today, is July 31 at Musica in Akron. This special event about the Heart of Rock and Roll film, and the Vindys are like front and center and doing a show there.
Well, we're going to have it's July 31st. It's a big event. And it's a fundraising event. We have about half the funding we need for the project, and on July 31st or August 1st, I guess we want to have it all done.
Gotcha.
So on the 31st, we have a big event. It's at the Musica, Tony Trope's place in downtown Akron. The first part of it's going to be talking about the documentary, talking about all the aspects of it. That's going to be from 6 to 8, and at 8 o'clock, we're going to open up the doors, and the Vindys are playing.
Yes.
And I think it's a great maybe pivot point, because I know Jackie has some thoughts about what's next in rock and roll. We're saying, are you ready for what's next in rock?
Well, so Jackie, I'm glad that the Vindys are involved in this project and representing, what we do. We call it the 330 artists, even if they're Cleveland and 216, we include all of that. And we champion a ton of new music and independent music. How's your feeling on this, Jackie, like where we're at today, as far as music coming out of Northeast Ohio?
Well, I think we all can, we can all attest to the changing of music through technology.
For sure. Yep.
However, there is a couple things that I think make up what rock and roll came out of, which is angst and fatigue.
And we're feeling both of those
And
right
there is this rumbling in right now that is bubbling up again, that you can feel even though that music is so fragmented, people are finding things in a new way in different platforms. But there is this a resurgence of rock and roll, a resurgence of punk music, a resurgence of these angry kids that have been maybe just forgotten about in this political climate these days. I mean, it's definitely something to be talked about. I don't know what happens in 20 years to music with the encourse of AI, but I am, just one of the many people in Northeast Ohio, the many bands in Northeast Ohio that are navigating these crazy, crazy times.
How do people use and listen to and quote unquote consume music today? Like, as a performer, Jackie, are you feeling like music means as much to people as it did back then, whenever back then was?
Well, I think that there is this commercial part of it where they're like, well, everything is a soundbite nowadays, and if you can't get their attention in 3 seconds on TikTok, then what are you doing? Like,
Right.
However, I also think that the kids today are so tired of seeing images and souped up commercial music in a way that they're like now pushing back, and they want to go to concerts again. They're spending crazy money on going to these massive arena shows and stadium concerts. So I think more importantly is the experience that you're bringing. I think live shows is the future of music and community around that. So I mean, like I said, it's a very fragmented time for the industry, not just for music. I mean, for movies as well. I've seen it.
For just anything.
Can confirm.
Like anything attention related or entertainment related, right?
So authenticity. Number one.
Yep.
Speaking of that, a few more things. I'm just going to say a few more words about the documentary.
Yeah, please.
People don't know about it. Ohio State fans, Hang On Sloopy.
Yeah.
McCoy's from Ohio.
Yep.
A song called Green Tambourine, the Lemon Pipers. A little bit of soul, the music explosion.
Yep.
Time Won't Let Me, The Outsiders.
Yep.
Yummy, 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 I've Got Love in My Tummy.
Ohio Express.
Yeah, Ohio Express, you're right. And the OJ's, Love Train, Michael Stanley, Freddie Salem and the Outlaws, rest in peace. The Dead Boys, Walkin' Memphis, 9 Inch Nails, Black Keys, Bone Thugs and Theory Machine. There's so many.
Yeah.
Our documentary, that's why we need 4
That's
episodes to tell the story.
Probably more.
Probably more than that. No, it's great. It's so exciting to see this story, working towards being told on a national level. So when do you hope that this series of documentary films will be available?
May of 2026, and probably we're going to put it out May 4th.
Okay.
That's an important date in Ohio.
Very important history date.
Yeah, and so that's that's when it's going to come out, and a lot of other things happened around then. So, we're really going to, the big point is on the 31st is when that all kind of takes off, because we're going to finish up our financing, and the tickets are at, you remember ticket email address?
theofficialmusica.com.
Theofficialmusica.com.
And that will be on the 31st. You can see the Vindys and meet everyone involved with this film project. Our guests, if you're just joining us, Bill Reichstein and Eric Vaughn are with the Heart of Rock and Roll film, and Jackie Popovic with the Vindys. And this is very exciting news. I know a lot of our Summit listeners and Summit members will be thrilled to take this in. In fact, guys, let's do an advanced screening for Summit members. Like, let's figure out something like that.
We'll be in your studio right over there. How about that?
That's right. Yeah. So, once again, theofficialmusica.com. The Vindys are performing on that night on July 31, and we hope to see you there. So, guys, thanks so much.
Thank
you.
And good luck on the project. This is going to be terrific.
And keep doing what you're doing. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. And let's play a couple Vindys songs now.
We should do that.
We should do that often, right? Let's do that. This is the Summit FM.